Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 110
Hell yeah.
of Fringe Fanatics. I am Chris Zane.
I'm Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you guys for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. This week, I was running a little bit behind, so we are going to be getting right into it. We have Charlie Walter from the Locked On Warriors podcast, among many other things, and we'll let him tell you all that, but we're going to call him right now.
We're going to get right to it.
We're going to get right into it, man. Nothing to it but to do it. You know what I mean? Know what I mean, Jelly Bean?
It's our first official basketball correspondent.
Technically, yes.
I mean, we had Robert Landon, who was mainly our Texans guy, but he was also very, very involved with the Rockets, too. And who are doing well.
They are. Here we go.
All right.
Charlie. Oh, wait, hold on. I lied to you guys. It was in the wrong number. Sorry.
Which one did you put in?
It was under mine. Like my Google, which I don't have a number on, technically.
You goober.
Sorry, guys. I was running behind. Traffic. You know how it goes. Okay, here we go. Charlie Walter.
On the line now.
Coming at you now.
Here we go.
Hello, this is Charlie.
Hey, Charlie. This is Chris Zane with Fringe Fanatics, and you've got
Chad Lee here. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate it, man. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, how are you?
Awesome, man. We're doing pretty good. Just cruising along in the podcasting journey. You know how it goes.
We really appreciate you taking our call, even after last night, man. That was quite the heartbreaker.
Yeah, it's been a lot of heartbreak lately for the Bay Area sports fans, and I mean these sports fans, like every single team. I mean, across the Bay, the A's leave, the 49ers go from championship contenders to what the hell is going on. The Giants are just and the Sharks are the Sharks. So, yeah, I don't know what good there is to say, but the Warriors the best thing we got going right now.
Yeah, definitely, and surprisingly so, I think, from what most people thought how the year was going to go. Before we get all the way into it, though, can you give everybody a little bit of a rundown of, where all you are, on? I mean, aside from the Locked On Warriors podcast, you've got a lot of stuff going on, it seems.
Well, I saw that you're from Cincinnati. I was kind of wondering how you became a Warriors fan, if you don't mind going into that as well.
Yes, I mean, it goes way back when a guy named Steve Logan, and all my social media handles have the number 22 after them, and it's for that guy right there. Steve Logan was a former second-round draft pick, an All-American. The Warriors took him, and that's how I was really introduced to the franchise way back in the day, 2002. And it was a casual for sure for years, and then. Look, I mean, Steph Curry, he's going to turn anyone to a fan, right? And then I had the privilege of covering the team for CBS News Bay Area and 95.7 The Game in the Bay Area. So I don't go back to the Mitch Richmond days and the Chris Mullin days and all those different teams. We believe that was even a little before my time as far as being a Warriors fan. I was more just a fan of the league overall, being from Cincinnati and not having a team. But let's just put it this way. Every team that Warriors fans hated, I hated as well growing up. So it was an easy transition when the babyface assassin came to the Bay.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention, he basically changed the NBA, so to speak.
He sure did.
And generations to come, because, I mean, now you have all these kids now just shooting three-pointers all the time, and it's because of Steph.
Well, that was my style, man. My favorite player growing up. I mean, if you want to say Cincinnati has a team, I guess the Indiana Pacers. Indianapolis is about an hour and a half away. So that was the closest thing I had growing up. And I was a diehard Pacers fan until I was about, 9 or 10 years old. And then when Reggie left and it was more Jermaine O'Neal and Metta World Peace, Ron Artest, that's where I stopped. I kind of just focused on the league as a whole. Because Reggie was my guy. The Pacers weren't my team. Reggie was just my guy, and he happened to be on the Pacers. So when Steph came into the league, it was like, oh, my God, this guy is more electrifying than Reggie Miller ever was. He can do it off the Reggie's catch and shoot. I mean, Reggie's more like Clay. Steph just what he's able to do with the ball in his hands, how he's able to create shots even at this age, it's incredible. And to see it up close, I was courtside for a lot of his games. I reported on the NBA championship in Boston in 21, 22. Like it's truly amazing. You think Father Time gets him from time to time where it's like, oh, he struggled for a week straight. Like this isn't the same Steph we're used to. Is he losing a step? And then you see what happened in Paris. And you see what happened, a couple of years ago in Sacramento, Game 7, when he dropped 50. And it's just like he goes ballistic. It's just such a fun watch.
Yeah, I think he really got robbed in Paris because it really should have been him that was the MVP. I mean, he took that game over in the last minutes. I mean, we're big Jokic fans, obviously, and so we were kind of maybe not that American or patriotic during that time. And at least me, I was really rooting for Jokic and Serbia at that time. And that was an epic game. And they really had a chance to pull it off. But then, like we said, the babyface assassin comes through, just kills.
Yeah, man, that's what he does. And even though he doesn't have that MVP of the Olympics, like he's going to be the one that when they have the basketball history books 30 years from now, it's going to be that lasting image of him firing it up over Wembanyama. I mean, it's not going to be any pictures of LeBron taking it to the bucket. It's going to be Steph in a night-night. So
the night-night celebration has become iconic at this point.
It's so cool, too, man. It's so cool.
It's iconic. It's iconic because it's undefeated, right? As soon as he does it, and he did it against Clay a couple weeks ago when they were up 4 with like 20 seconds left, and that's where it's like, all right, this celebration's unreal because it means game over. And it's always meant game over because he does it when they go up 11 with 30 seconds left. And that Clay one, you could just tell he wanted that game so bad, and he knows when it's done. But that game was nowhere near over. And as soon as he blows one of them, I mean, the celebration changes a little to me. But I don't know if he ever will. Like, I think he's just smart like that. He knows that it's a signature. It's game over. That's the NBA sign for game over right now.
Yeah, and I mean, he usually is always on point when he hits the sleep celebration, because I don't think I've ever seen a guy who knows a ball's going in the second it leaves his fingertips as much as Steph Curry does. It's unbelievable because, I mean, the guy shoots lights out. He basically goes unconscious, and you're like, I don't even know. Sometimes I think he's just doing stuff just to see if he can do it, and he can more often than not. So it's just like, all right, man.
That's muscle memory, man. When you shot it that many times, you know when it's going in.
Yeah, you can tell that the work ethic's there, because when you could just do it that many times, that before the game, he's like, I'm bored of the warm-ups. Let me shoot in the tunnel. Let me shoot half courts, like he's just having fun out there. He's insane.
Meticulous though with his warm-ups.
That was another
thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was another thing from being able to cover him as closely as I did. I got to see his pregame warm-ups and how he does them. And he always starts very close to the bucket, 2 feet away. Then he moves it out to 4. Then he starts shooting the threes. And he has, his dribbling drills. And he comes out there and does some pointing thing, where he's acting like he's a famous singer. Like he's got his warm-ups are down to a T. He does the same things every single game.
I mean, those great ones, that's what they do. I'm a big Mahomes fan, and he is very adamant that to the music he listens to and the whole routine, those guys that are the best, they stick to it, and they're very superstitious about it.
No doubt.
I did want to ask, though, because it is kind of an interesting thing, just the dichotomy of Clay and Steph's relationship, especially with, him going to Dallas. Do you think that is still a good relationship? Like, are they still buddy-buddy, or do you think there's like a little bit of, animosity there, so to speak?
Maybe not animosity. I don't know if that's the right word, but I definitely think it's we'll pick up this friendship when, either the season's over, our careers are over, something like that. I mean, Clay's always been kind of I don't know if introverted is the right word, but kind of marches to the beat of his own drum. And Draymond even alluded to this before the Mavericks game that, Curry tried to basically hit him up to say, hey, we're not going to do this whole I'm not going to take the mic and give a speech about you before the game or whatever. We're just going to focus on hoop. And Clay just like never got back to him, something like that.
I did hear
So
that he
you could just
kind
tell-
of ghosted him, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of ghosted. Yeah, and you could just tell from the way that Curry wanted to win that game that on the court it's business, and I don't know. I mean, when it's all said and done, I think you would have to believe with the business relationship they had for damn near 15 years that they're going to be good friends, and they're going to be on a good basis for the rest of their lives moving forward. But while their careers are going on, I don't think it's as tight-knit as some may think, but I could be wrong there. I mean, they're like anyone, they're private.
I believe it, man. And you see how competitive Steph is. I mean, we've seen him hit that night celebration and, taunt people afterwards and stuff, but I've never seen him that animated to where when he hit that game sealing shot and then under the basket was just yelling. And I mean, I can't quite remember word for word. I know some people kind of like listed it on Twitter and stuff, but I mean, he was pretty brutal about it. And you could tell, like you said, he wanted that game bad.
Yeah, it was basically like you don't want to be here, something like that.
What it was. Thank you.
Yeah, something along the lines.
So,
of that.
That was a personal shot, definitely. But hey, let's get a little bit to the meat of it, man. We did have our two teams face off last night. I wanted to ask you about Buddy Hield because in the very first beginning of the season, it looked like that was an awesome acquisition, and I just listened to you guys' most recent episode on Locked On, and you guys talked about how like the first 5 games he had over 20 points, and I think it's in the last like 5 games he hasn't even hit I think like 15 or something like that. Like, do you think he's just kind of like in a slump? Do you know what's going on with this? Because I mean, it looked like in the beginning like everybody was so shocked at how well the Warriors were playing.
I think he has a large part in how Buddy goes. The Warriors go a little bit because they've been talking about needing a second scorer. Wiggins is someone that pretty consistently puts up 17 to 20, but does it in a more methodical way. Buddy's the guy that can really heat up and, give you those 15-2 runs that give you that cushion. And then when the defense is playing really well, they could put teams away, or they could hold them off with a Curry flurry that we see so often at the end of games. But with Buddy, I think a lot of it has to do with they bring in Terry Stotts to run the offense to basically modernize their motion offense in the offseason. Stotts comes in, and people have never really seen this look Warriors with Buddy Hield, and I would love to say that that's just it. Teams have had more film. They've had more studying material. But at the same time, he's missed more shots, man. He was hot at the beginning of the season. He was hitting ridiculous shots that he's just not hitting right now. And every team that Buddy's played for, I've talked to a lot of fan bases, Indy, Sacramento, Philly, and they all say that this is kind of part of the Buddy Hield experience. Like, he gets hot. He will knock down 6 threes for weeks at a time, and then he'll just kind of, disappear a little bit. So, 10 games of the season when he's, 6 of the first 7 scoring 20 plus, I was like, he may have just found a home, revitalized, the career, showing us why he was a lottery pick, a top 10 pick. And now it's just looking like more of the same. He helps you, no doubt about it. He's depth on this team. He's come off the bench every single game, but he is not the scoring assassin that he was the first 10 games of the season. The Warriors, quite frankly, need that right now. And I don't know if they're going to get it at least on a consistent basis, but he's heating up at some point. Maybe in 2025, may not be this calendar year, but there's going to be another game where Buddy knocks down 7 and Chase is rocking.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I just you wouldn't think when they acquired him that he was going to be coming off the bench, so to speak, especially with, the loss of Clay and everything. It's pretty, surprising that this is where he's at right now, considering everybody's like, this is one of the better acquisitions of the free agency market. It is just very surprising.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that completely.
But I think a big reason why last night we got to address the elephant in the room that Draymond wasn't playing. I think if he was playing, he is a little pest, like a older brother that is actually smaller than Jokic.
Yeah.
That likes
Gets
to
under his skin.
Yeah, very much so gets under his skin. Had he been playing, I think that game might have played out a lot differently. And then also the embarrassing elephant in the room that did Christian Brown call a timeout? Did he not? What was that all about? We kind of got away with one there. That was kind of a really hot topic.
My whole thing is he didn't fully complete a T with his hands.
Yeah.
The hands gotta complete a T.
Yeah.
It's otherwise it's not a timeout. You gotta hit the
It was close. We all knew what he was doing there. He was trying to get to the timeout. He was just struggling. He traveled as well. I don't know what the official call was there. I was getting ready to go live post game, so I just assumed at that point, it's over. Nuggets inbound it, 4-point game, like it's done. But
yeah, I think because he kind of rolled over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, Kerr was definitely not happy. And it does kind of seem, I don't know for sure, but there does seem to be a little bit of bad, I don't know if it's necessarily bad blood, but Kerr and Jokic kind of have a thing going now.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it all stems from those comments last year that Kerr had about Jokic. And then when Jokic hit that game winner, that was probably the most animated we've seen Jokic in a regular season game ever. When he hit that game winner right next to the Golden State Warriors bench. So do you think that's an actual thing, or is that just something we're reading into being Nuggets fans?
I think it's just two competitors going after it. But, man, Jokic is that guy. I mean, the fact that he's about to win another MVP, is he just about to take MVP for the next, 10 years? I mean, he's incredible, man. I heard the comparison to Larry Bird last night with that high release point, the fact that he's
basically behind his head.
He's 6'10"? How big is
he's
he?
7 foot.
Oh, yeah, he's 7 foot.
Yeah.
He's a legit 7 feet. And the fact that he is so pure from 17 feet out to 30 feet is truly incredible. He's a generational talent. Now, Barkley was saying that the Nuggets need to get – I'm going to ask you guys this – saying that the Nuggets need to get some more horses in the barn. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I just saw Elfrid Payton got released after setting a record for him in terms of his career for assists. The Nuggets need bench help. That's a guy I would be going and trying to grab because they absolutely do need bench help. When Jokic leaves the floor, this is
it's like
a
a
college team.
Yeah. I think they're minus 20,
Yeah.
And I think Chris and I differ on this because I'm a little disappointed with Murray right now. He did play a little better last night, but because of the money that he just got and his attitude this season, I've been very disgruntled with his play. And so I'll bring up a player that I heard you guys talk about bringing in, which is Zach LaVine. And I'm going to go out on a big limb here and see where we need help more than anything is like Chris said, we need help at the backup 5 spot because when Jokic isn't in there, Aaron Gordon moves to the backup 5.
And that's his stretch 5.
Yeah.
Stretch.
It's not his natural. And then it's really hard to defend guys like, Karl Anthony Towns and guys that are, even OG Anunoby put 40 up on us a couple nights ago. So my thinking is let's go all in, trade Murray, bring in Zach LaVine, push Russ to the start pointing guard because his effort and his play has proven it. It's a hot take. I know it's crazy.
I don't know if they're going to want to take on Murray's contract, but I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that, so to speak, just because it does seem like Murray is a disgruntled employee at this point. He's clearly got something going on, whether it's attitude or emotional or whatever it is. He's always kind of had a chip on his shoulder. It's when it comes to the media and people questioning him. And I think this has finally gotten to him with him getting that big check and still everybody being like, well, now what? I think he's kind of reached a breaking point with that. So I don't know if he's going to get out of this slump. I hope he does, but if he doesn't, the Nuggets are in serious trouble. And at this point, what are we, 19 games in? We shouldn't be having these questions, so to speak, for a team that was favored to win the West.
The question that the Warriors have right now in regards to Zach LaVine is how you got to make that money work. Because, I mean, you could throw Wiggins' contract in there, and that matches about 26. That gets you halfway there. but Levine's making so much damn money. You'd have to throw in Looney, Peyton. Obviously, D'Anthony Melton's contract is enticing to some because the money's off the books at the end of the year. If they're trying to get rid of like the Bulls, they're having a fire sale right now because it was just 3 years ago that they were like first in the East.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and they had a nice little run there to where they thought they had their core intact. Lonzo Ball goes down, and it just is it's travesty over there right now in Chicago, and they're trying to get rid of some of those dudes. And hey, I don't know what the Warriors do. That's the issue. Internally, I don't think they're going to get the seismic growth that they need from a Kuminga, a Moody, a Podge this season to compete for a championship. And they've talked about how their goal is to do everything they can to win at all costs for Steph Curry. So if that's the case, you got to go out, you got to get a second scorer. You've got to get someone that can not only put the ball in the bucket, but also really fit into your identity, which I don't think is Zach LaVine. I think it's more of a Jimmy Butler, someone that's tough.
That would be cool.
That can, maybe on switches can guard some power forwards and that can give you some toughness and kind of lean into this defensive identity that the Warriors want to have, because when they were winning games, they were a top 5 defensive team. They're losing games now, and it's more like 20th.
Yeah.
Real quick, I was just looking at some stuff because I was intrigued by what Chad was saying. The only problem is Murray has a restriction on being traded until March 6th of 2025. But their contracts, Murray 4-year, $207 million. Basically $208 million. Zach LaVine 5 years, $215 million.
Wow.
So they're pretty close.
Yeah.
You probably could facilitate that next year, but I do think Zach LaVine will probably be on the move this year with the way the Bulls are blowing everything up. So that is unfortunate for the Nuggets, but the Nuggets need something.
Yeah.
Both our teams
happen,
do.
Fellas. You know it. Something's going to happen. Someone's going to get pissed off. It's just a matter of who and when and where, and who has the assets engaged, ready to go get them. I think the Warriors are in a decent spot to do that. I do still think Kuminga is highly regarded around the league. If the Warriors wanted to look into getting rid of him, they have a ton of draft picks in play. They have some expiring contracts that teams, want to get rid of the money and just take on the Warriors, salary dumps essentially. So you can get creative with it. The question's going to be, who is it? And how close are the Warriors to actually being legit contenders? Is it hey, we add in one secondary scorer and all of a sudden we're back? Or is it, they're going to need to retool this thing and it may be a multiple-year process? That's, I guess, the questions that we'll learn. And then I guess the other thing is maybe it's just internal development and getting back to what they were doing at the beginning of the year when they were one of the top teams in the NBA a week ago. So We'll see.
I do have one quick question for you. Is this Steph Curry the last year he's under contract? Is this season, right?
Oh, not even close, fellas. We got Steph Curry in the Bay until 27-28.
Oh, okay. What am I looking at?
Was it you on...
They extended him.
Yeah, was it you on the most recent episode or your co-host that was the one that was talking about was it a good decision to extend him or not?
It was me, and I think for like a culture purpose, it's a good idea, right? Like, everyone loves Steph Curry in the Bay Area. You don't want to see him at a Charlotte Hornets jersey or a Lakers
I hope he
jersey
retires a Warrior.
Yeah, that's what, he could be one of the last guys that stays with the team that he was drafted with,
Especially,
in that regard, it's huge. But at the same time, you look at history of the NBA and how many players are extremely effective after the age of 37, 38 years old, and the answer is not many. And he's a Warrior until 40. And not only that, he's going to be 40 years old making $60 million a year. And I know the cap's going to be different at that point. And $60 million then may not be $60 million now, but it's a ton of money that you're investing. You've already invested a lot into Draymond Green through that time period. You've already invested a lot into Andrew Wiggins. So Wiggins, Green, and Curry, it's kind of the core that, you've bought into. And that can be a great thing if it's an effective core. But if this thing starts getting sideways and the Warriors are losing, their 5-game losing streak turns into a 9, and all of a sudden they're just not good, I mean, you're kind of stuck with what you have for a little bit. And that's where it's like, it is a bold decision extending them because there's no reset coming anytime soon. Like, you're running with Curry, Wiggins, Draymond for the long run here. That's the core.
It's not really a rebuild. It's kind of a restoration, so to speak, is what you're hoping for.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, let's shift gears here a little bit, if you don't mind. I see that you're obviously a big Cincinnati Bearcats fan. Basketball, right?
Huge.
Yes. Okay, cool. All right. I'm sure you follow the football team and everything like that. But I saw from your Twitter you do follow their basketball team. So I'm a big Jayhawks fan. You guys, the Cincinnati, this is the second year they're in the Big 12, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So they're doing pretty good. 14th ranked, 6-1. How you feeling about them? They've kind of beaten a bunch of bad teams so far, but they've got Dayton coming up here in a couple games. So give me your thoughts on that.
I was feeling great. I don't feel so good anymore, fellas. They took on Villanova on Tuesday night, and they looked awful. They lost 68-60. Now, they're missing their best player, Dan Skillings, or arguably their best player. They kind of have a three-headed monster with Seamus Lukosius, Jizzle James, and Dan Skillings. Any one of those three can be your best player on a given night. Skillings led the team in rebounding, was second on the team in points last year. He's missed every game since the first game of the season. But they didn't look good, man. I mean, they're going to be at their best when they're sped up, when they're creating havoc. They're long, they're fast, they're the Duncan Bearcats. They're blocking shots. They're getting out in transition, finishing. Where they're not good is the half court. It's been that way since all the way back to the Huggins era. They're not great in the half court scoring the basketball, and that's where they struggled. I mean, they were going for 84 points a game entering yesterday. They scored 60 against Nova. It was, quite frankly, embarrassing. They shot at 30% from three. 0 block shots defensively to really, spark plug those transition opportunities. Only 4 fast break points. You can't have that. And the hope is you get Dan Skillings back, and all of a sudden it changes the makeup. You no longer have to play guys that were playing at Bradley last year at the shooting guard position. You can throw in a potential NBA guy. But as of right now, not great. Your first test of the season, you lose to a 4-4 Nova team. So, yeah, that's kind of where we stand.
It could have been a trap game, I mean, Villanova's not that good, quite, after losing Jay Wright.
Not good at all. But here's the thing. They can't play against a matchup zone whatsoever. It's been this way for the longest time. And we thought this year they could shoot their way out of matchup zones, and they just, for whatever reason, they don't have that big that can flash to the high post and make a move and pass out of the post. They have a one-dimensional, just alley-oop lob finisher and shot blocker that plays the 5, and then their backup 5 is just not ready yet. Could be good, but he's a sophomore, transfer from USC, a top 50 recruit, and he's not quite ready yet. Looks the part build-wise, but just doesn't have the fundamentals of the game down yet, and he's not going to need to figure those out. So, yeah, that's kind of where they stand. They're great in the pick-and-roll offense on man-to-man defense. They have so many lobs and dunks, and they're exciting. But you matchup zone them, you slow down the game. Villanova just laid out a blueprint on how to beat them. It may change if the Bearcats hit their shots because I think they have some decent shooters, but not last night.
Yeah, well, they'll have another test coming up, on December 20th, with Dayton. That's always a good school. But, on January 11th, we'll have to circle back and hit you up because that's when they play KU.
For sure. Anytime, fellas.
I got one last excuse me, I got one last question, then we're going to let you get out of here. We really appreciate your time. Do you think the NBA Cup is going to last?
I hope the Cup lasts. I like it, but I hope they get rid of some of those courts, man. The Nuggets.
Isn't it blinding?
That was the worst thing I've ever seen.
It's awful.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I've seen some that I like decently, but not the Nuggets.
Oh, they also just need to kind of streamline it more. This whole Tuesday, Friday, and everything being so disjointed, it's hard to even follow.
Yeah. I'm not really into it, to be honest.
Whatever.
They should do it quick. They should do it quick, like a holiday tournament in college basketball where it's 2 weeks, and the fact that it goes a couple of months and they just take weeks off at a time, it's definitely hard to follow.
Yeah.
But the quarters and semis could be fun, but group play is just it's interesting.
Yeah, which is where we're at now that it's finally kind of consolidated down. It's easier to digest, but it's just until now, it's just like I don't even know what's going on. All of a sudden, there's crazy courts and new uniforms.
It gets pretty wild.
But man, we really appreciate you hopping on with us. It means a lot to us. Anybody that takes time out of their day to join us, it's
yes, sir.
We really appreciate it. So, let everybody know where they can find you, and then we'll let you get on out of here, man.
Anytime, fellas. So host a couple of shows, Locked On Warriors. You can find it wherever you get your audio podcasts. We're also streaming on YouTube. And then a startup project. Like I said, I'm a diehard Cincinnati Bearcats fan. I didn't see any YouTube shows or really any podcasts out there that were super entertaining. Obviously, I'm a fan, so I like to consume the content. And there were some that, gave you the nuts and bolts, but not really from an entertainment fan perspective. So I started one. I was like, why not? I don't need to be in Cincinnati to do it.
That's right.
So I watch all the games. We react as soon as, the buzzer sounds. Sometimes we go live to watch the end. It's me and a childhood friend. So it works out perfect.
So you've got to be a Kelsey fan since you're a Cincinnati Bearcat fan, right?
No doubt, though.
That's right. That's my dude. Hell yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
Damn Chiefs fans. They're the worst.
Yeah, it's cool how they always rep. They're real proud of their Cincinnati heritage, man. They're always wearing it on the podcast and stuff.
No doubt.
Yep. Well, thanks again, Charlie. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you
Appreciate
so much.
you guys.
I hope you have a great night. And then, like Chad said, man, maybe we'll circle back around for that KU rematch.
That's right.
Would be great. We'll talk soon, fellas.
Awesome, man. Thanks,
See
Charlie.
ya.
Have a good one.
See ya.
Bye. Well, that was good, man.
That was good, man. He really knows his stuff.
He does know his stuff.
Yeah. Asked him about the Cincinnati game, and he just rattled off like
he
9
knows
to
it
10
all.
stats. Right? I was like, whoa, what did I get myself into?
It's like he does that for a living
That's
or something.
right. Well done, Charlie.
Speaking of which, yeah, we want to do this for a living. So like, share, subscribe, and follow anywhere you see us. And anytime we post content, make sure to comment or just do something with it. Like it, share it, comment on it. We'll usually respond back. We just recently got over 100 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, that's cool. Dude, and we've been getting a lot of good feedback too. So I just told Chris before we started recording that I collected my debt against my landlord. I met him up for a beer yesterday, where we did a bet for the CU-KU game. So
it was supposed to be for rent, but things changed.
We dialed it back. We dialed it back a little bit. I was the one that even brought it up.
If I win, I own your soul.
So yeah, we had a beer and that was pretty good. And he mentioned how
we got State House.
No.
Oh.
We went to G's Tacos over there. It's pretty good.
Jeez. Oh, right over here?
Right over here.
Over here.
Yep.
Did you get tacos? Were they good tacos?
No, she
love a
made,
good tacos
we did
place.
Jersey Mike's afterwards.
Okay.
But, I had a Modelo Negro, and I haven't had one of those in a while, man. I threw that down fast. But when I was there, he mentioned that he's been listening to the podcast, and he was, like, bringing up conversations and topics that we've been talking about. So he, like, really
that's cool.
listens every week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, shout out to Nick. Appreciate you.
No, thanks,
Damn good
Nick.
landlord.
Appreciate you. Yeah, we this room is great, so
Yes.
thank you. Without it, who knows what we'd be doing. But yeah, that's cool, man. I do feel like we're on an upswing right now, man. We've had a couple TikTok videos pop off, like get over 2,000 views. It just feels like kind of just feels like we always talk about the roller coaster. It kind of feels like we're getting close.
We're getting there.
To letting go and going down.
And I know the fantasy league's going well. Samir made a good point yesterday. I'm gonna rub a little salt in all your wounds right now, but he just kind of
Chiefs fans are doing the best.
yeah. There's 4 playoff positions in this league. Let me finish. There's 4 playoff positions. The top 3 are all Chiefs fans.
Boo!
Damn right.
I bet.
Juice, Samir, and me.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't say it's the refs on this one.
I thought I was trying to come up with something.
I was
Damn
gonna
it.
say.
I had something in the chamber, but then you beat me to it. Damn it!
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
unfortunately, next year I'm coming back with a vengeance. I'm gonna do 80 pre-draft, just draft analysis on my own. I'm gonna do so many.
You watch me. Now, I hope you start using a notebook or something when you mock, because it clearly works.
It doesn't.
I saw a stat yesterday on Twitter that was like, if you have Saquon Barkley on your team, you have a 51% of being first or second in your league.
I saw that too.
So
Luck of the draw. Anyways, let's finish with some NBA, and then we're going to get into the music break.
First, tell me how your Thanksgiving weekend was, you goddamn
Well, no,
bastard.
let's just finish with NBA. Then we'll do weekends and continue the rest.
All right, all
Yeah,
right.
we're already in NBA.
Fine.
We're going to do NBA. You
All right.
listen to me, goddammit. I'm driving.
You are the producer.
We're going to do NBA, and then we're going to hit the music break. Then we're going to tell you about our weekends, and we're going to get through the rest of it. So here we
Sounds like a plan.
Right side to Scott. Slam dunk. 4 seconds. 3 seconds left. Why are they not fouling? Jumper Murray. Denver bounce.
He's over. Kobe set the Laker record. 81-point game.
You just want to go over the standings with the...
There's a few things I'm going to hit.
We didn't write anything down. First things.
Dude, you don't need to worry about what I write down. We're just going to hit a couple of headlines. We're going to spend a lot of time on them. Durant, Mr. Kevin Durant,
News
is
came
now
out today.
expected to miss 2 weeks. I believe it's an ankle sprain.
Yeah.
It happened during the game against the San Antonio Spurs. They will be at least a week without Durant, who led Phoenix to an 8-1 start before suffering a calf strain. He is they had gone 3-1 with him back in the lineup. So yeah, they're going to be hurting without Durant.
And did you see the news about LeBron James?
He can't play basketball anymore.
Yes. So for one, he's been really sucking it up. And then, of course, like vintage LeBron already provides an excuse. He said he's been playing with an injury, an undisclosed confidential injury, but he still wants to play every game.
Over, under, upper body or lower body?
I think it is.
Is it a UBI or an LBI?
Integrity. I think
Integrity?
it's integrity.
An IBI.
Yeah.
Integrity
That's
body.
what it is. But you know why he wants to play all 82 games?
He's not going to now. They already said that's not going to happen.
Well, I know, but he wants to. Do you know why?
No.
Because the only other guy to over 40 to play every game, Michael Jordan.
Was
But
he
guess
coming
what?
off the bench for the Bobcats?
No, I think
Was
he
he
was
starting
starting
for the
It wasn't the Bobcats, it was the Wizards. When he was 40.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
he
That's right.
owned the
Wizards.
Bobcats.
Yeah. I had
Yeah.
it mixed up. That's,
But
cool.
that is the most egotistical, selfish thing you could do. You're hurting your team. Right now, what's the number, Chris? How many threes has he missed in a row? I think it's 24.
I don't know what it's at right now, but it was over. Like he's
approaching the record, which is 26 by Grant Williams.
Yeah.
So why not take yourself out? Spend a night just take a rest.
It looks like 19.
Okay, that's what he's at.
He
All
missed all 19 of his 3-point attempts. And then there was another thing too, where they were down the other night, and he was still in the game to get some other like arbitrary.
They call it LeBron stat.
It was like most games with like. I don't even remember, dude.
Well,
it was literally like the most arbitrary stat, but they've got a 40-year-old guy in there like with 3 minutes left and the game's over and they're not going to win.
And he's
just to get
missing, and not just missing, but he's airballing. I mean, he is way off. And it just, to me, just speaks volumes about him where he's just like, oh, I've got an injury and all this. It's like,
Yeah.
well, then deal with the injury. Don't play and let other people play.
I finished, is getting into the weekends a little bit early. I finished the starting 5 this weekend.
I didn't even want to watch it.
It's good. Jimmy Butler's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's cool.
I love Jimmy
like
Butler.
Jimmy Butler.
Ant is 22 years old.
Oh, he's
and
so
that
young.
becomes very apparent
Yeah.
when you watch this because he's like having a kid and he's like, I don't even know what to do.
Oh, my God.
Just like, all right, cool, man. But LeBron, dude, is a lot. It is the LeBron train. Everything is about him and what he's doing.
Yep.
And it makes total sense that the Lakers are going to basically, we said this a while ago, I think LeBron James will be one of the worst things to happen to the Lakers in a long time. I mean, they did get the championship.
The bubble
The
championship.
bubble championship that even the players are like, that's bullshit.
Yep.
They won the IST last year, which LeBron made a huge deal about how important that is. And then this year they get knocked out, and he's like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Right.
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's when it's another notch on your belt. it's the end all be all. But when you're knocked out, it's whatever,
It's
man.
just
Like,
whatever.
I'm just trying to worry about getting my hairline back to where it was when the season started. You know what I'm saying? That dude
Okay.
has had the I wish
his
I had the
hairline's-
money to fix my hairline.
Yeah.
Jesus, his
Yeah,
went from like back.
That's
here
why I
to up
appreciate
here.
how KD does not care about his appearance at all.
Yeah,
KD
dude's
does
rocking the
not.
bald spot.
They show like how he's like ashy
Creepy
as hell
feet.
sometimes. Yeah, they don't care, man. But yeah, LeBron sucks. We
He
all
does.
hate him here.
Yeah. Well, we don't like him, but it's for other reasons. But yeah, I did just see this though. The NBA confirms Nuggets Braun didn't call a late timeout.
Oh wow, that's good.
So, like I said,
you called Braun again.
You got shit.
Dude, I know.
just
It's
did
contagious,
it,
huh?
dude. You did it to me now.
Yep.
Fuck, Brown. Weirdest spelling of Brown ever.
Yep.
You must complete the T. Is all I'm saying. Complete the T. Otherwise, it's not a
All
a
right.
timeout. But
All right, we got any other NBA?
let me see here. What?
We got a lot to cover
Yeah,
today.
no, I'm just gonna call it good. We're gonna hit the music break now. We got
right.
a new band out of Denver, comprised of some heavy hitters out of Denver, which seems to be the thing nowadays. Everybody's joining new bands, making new music, which I love. But the name of this band is the Teflon Dons. They have been releasing they're almost their covers of old school country songs done like
Oh, sweet.
punk style.
That's awesome.
So we're gonna be hearing a Conway Twitty song done
Nice.
kind of punkish here
I
in
was
the
like
next.
a Family Guy when I hear Conway Twitty.
Oh, me too.
Yep.
Yeah. But this is the Teflon Dons, and we will be right back here in just a bit.
Must have thought I was a millionaire the way I was running around. Must have thought I was a playboy the way I was turning them down. It really seems they caught up to me and I'm paying for it now. Didn't know I was falling till I hit the ground. I was living beyond my means, shot back down to reality. This high cost of living is really killing me. Living beyond my means, a rude awakening from my dreams. Thought I was doing fine, but my mom was playing tricks on me. There was no accounting for every cent I spent. Woke up one morning wondering where my money went. It was here one day and gone the next. Easy come, easy go, I guess. Had it all, but now there's nothing left. I was living beyond my means, shot back down to reality. This high cost of living is really killing me. Living beyond my means, a rude awakening from my dreams. Thought I was doing fine, but my mom was playing tricks on me. Thought I was doing fine, but my mom was playing tricks on me. Just want a taste of the finer things in life. Always wondered what the upper crust was like. Spent all my money just to impress my friends. Now I'm back in the poorhouse again. I was living beyond my means, shot back down to reality. This high cost of living is really killing me. Living beyond my means, rude awakening from my dreams. Thought I was doing fine, but my mom was playing tricks on me. Thought I was doing fine, but my mom was playing tricks on me.
All right. We missed the end of that one a little bit, but you just heard the Teflon Dons Living Beyond My Means. They are currently releasing singles for their upcoming album that does come out on New Year's Day 2025. So yes, make sure to go check out the Teflon Dons. They are a new band coming out of Denver. So go follow them on all things social media. Go listen to them on Spotify. And just, spread the love. That's what we're all about here. Spreading that love.
And we will spread the love talking about our sponsor right now.
Yes, indeed. Hit it, Chad.
Mr. SDO Collectibles.
Yes, indeedy. SDO
Yep.
Collectibles.
They have a show coming up here in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. It's in. That's not the one in Lone Tree, is it? Is it?
No, the one oh my god.
Yeah, I just wanna go-
You've ruined the ad read. We got
I
to
just came
pay them
back.
for the ad now.
Let's
Great.
see.
I know it was on the 17th. Christian Brown will be there
Here it
as
is.
well as.
Yep.
Go ahead. I don't know all the
Denver Car
details.
Show, the Delta Hotel, East 120th and North Glen. That's where it's at. It's in North Glen.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was up
Yep.
north.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you haven't yet, go check out SDO. They just got their eBay page up, so you can go check out all of the collectibles that they have on there. A lot of it's sports cards, Funko Pops. I said that weird. The Funko Pops. They've got everything you could want to collect, and make sure to go check them out. SDO Collectibles is who we are brought to you by.
Check it out.
Check it out. Yes, well, it is time for the rest of the show.
Chris, tell
And
me.
first, we're going to get into our weekends.
Yes, tell
You
me how
want me
it
to-
went.
It went good. This weekend was a good one. I did a lot of organizing and reorganizing around the house.
Oh, nice.
I also got the Christmas tree up. So
Where do
getting
you
ready
guys
for
put a Christmas tree? Is it a
Dude.
small tree?
Dude, don't be like that.
Well, I mean,
That's
it's a
rude.
small house, but I'm saying, like, how do you guys fit
I got
a
a
Christmas
12.
tree?
I've got a 12-foot Christmas tree.
That goes
it just
up through
bent.
the roof.
No, it just bent. It starts here. It ends in the middle of the
Like
living
the
room.
Griswold
No,
way,
we do live in a small house. But it's like a, I want to say it's like a 6.5-foot Christmas tree.
Oh,
It's
no
not
kidding.
big.
Wow, okay.
But yeah, we got the Christmas tree up.
Nice.
Got all the shit down out of the crawl space, which is always an adventure. But I did watch a lot of sports things this week,
There was
Chad
a lot of
Lee.
sports going on.
Well, not just sports going on. I watched a lot of sports documentaries and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Finished the McMahon documentary.
Oh, isn't that good?
Wild.
Yep.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You never really get to see a guy become a character so much in real life as you do with Mr. McMahon, so to speak.
He is one of one. That's
He
for
really
sure.
is. And then also watched The Comeback on
Oh, yeah.
Netflix
What is-
about
I-
the Boston Red
Yeah,
Sox
that's
winning
right.
the World Series.
Yeah, I thought about watching that.
It's a really good one. I would recommend watching it. You don't realize the 2 years leading up to that, what all they had to go through just to get to that point.
Okay.
So that was a pretty good thing to watch. The Comeback on Netflix. Super informative. It's only 3 episodes. So,
Okay.
but I think they're a little bit longer than an hour. But you get a lot out of it. Big Poppy's on there a lot. I like listening to him talk. He's got a cool accent. It was very funny. Kevin Millar might be my favorite baseball player of all time after watching that.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Okay.
Because I never really liked the Boston Red Sox. So it was pretty cool. Definitely enjoyed that one. Also finished watching Starting Five, which we talked about a little while ago.
Yep.
There is some bummer stuff in there when the Nuggets get beat by the
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves
Yeah.
in episode 9.
That would suck.
It was a little shitty to relive, but it happens. But other than that, I think that's about it for my weekend. Just been working, busy
How'd
with
your
work.
Thanksgiving go?
Oh, I forgot Thanksgiving happened. Thanksgiving was good. I was gonna tell you to come over, but then you were out at the movies and stuff.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, when
You're always welcome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I went to go watch Gladiator 2. It was awesome.
How was it? Do
It was
you
epic? Yeah, it was probably better than the first one.
really?
Yeah, I would say so.
I did see the cool flooding of the Coliseum scenes. Looked pretty rad.
That was awesome.
Which I guess they really did back in the day. I don't know
Oh, yeah.
how they did that.
I
but
remember
it's
learning
pretty
about
wild.
that in grade school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the big reasons
Go
why.
to grade school, dude.
Yeah. What?
I don't know. I'm just fucking.
I don't know, all right. But yeah, so yeah, that was really cool. The CGI for it was really awesome. I watched a lot of movies over the weekend too. I finally watched Rounders. You ever see that?
Yeah, isn't who's in that movie? Isn't it Edward
Matt-
Norton?
Edward Norton, Matt Damon.
Yeah. Good movie about gambling. Poker.
John, not Mellencamp. What's his name?
Fucking
From Con Air. John. I know.
I can see his face.
I know. There's a movie, Malkovich. John Malkovich. Got it.
John
Yep.
Malkovich. Oh, yeah, that one's gonna
It was a
blow
pretty
my
good
mind.
movie. It was awesome watching a movie from like 1998. It was like
Yeah.
really kind of like a step back in time almost.
Sometimes
Crazy.
you gotta, delve back into the past, so to speak.
Yep.
See what things were going on then.
That's true.
Juice hit us with John Malkovich while we were thinking of it. So
Look
thank
at
you,
that.
Juice.
Well done,
Appreciate
Juice.
you, sir.
Let's see, what else did I watch? I watched that movie, The Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh, with Colin
Farrell.
Farrell and that other guy. They were in that other movie together. Damn it.
I don't know.
There was another movie that both of them were in.
This was pretty weird, but it was kind of like a crazy dark comedy, but it was okay. It was all right though.
Yeah, and the other
was-
movie they were in was the same way too.
Yeah, Barry Keoghan was in it. Same dude from like Saltburn and stuff.
Still haven't seen that movie. Heard it's weird.
Oh, very, very weird.
Weird bathtub scene.
Yeah. But that was pretty sweet. And then I started watching the new Dune Prophecy show. So
We were gonna start doing that because we just finished watching a bunch of shows. So it's like, now I think we
Yeah.
should start doing.
we
that.
started
Still
watching.
need to watch Dune 2 though. Do I need to
uh,
watch Dune 2 before I watch
Oh,
that?
most definitely. Yeah, definitely. I
What
mean,
is it? A
I
continuation?
would not
or
watch
is it a
with-
prequel?
you guys have a surround sound or theater? Like,
Yeah, dude.
Cool. That's my favorite part about the Dune both of the movies is the score by Hans Zimmer. I mean, it's just perfect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
The Dune show isn't that's one thing that sucks is like the movies are like completely excellent, but the show is a step down. It doesn't have that same
They don't
type
have the production
of elite
quality.
feel.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a bummer.
Gotta
but
make like 10 of them rather than just one.
yeah, it's still
or
in the
two.
Duneverse. So
The Duneverse.
yeah, it's not too bad.
The movie I was thinking of, In Bruges.
And Bruges?
In Bruges, Bruges. It's Colin Farrell, that same guy, Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Same kind of dark comedy movie.
Huh.
But yeah, nonetheless. Well, that's cool, man. Is that the end of your weekend?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
In
it.
terms of Thanksgiving, we did the usual, had everybody over for the old family Thanksgiving at the Rentals, watched some okay football games.
Yeah, they were pretty boring.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. One of them was okay, better than we thought.
The Lions one kind
Lions
of came
one.
down to
Yeah,
the
yeah, that's
the
true. It
last
was the Lions
minute.
one. But yeah, other than that, Thanksgiving games usually suck.
Yes, they do.
But yeah, bunch of sports. We had an F1 race this weekend.
Yeah, that's true. We'll get
It was
to
a good
that.
one. So yeah, well,
Yep.
well, let's move on. Let's get
do
into
it,
the
man.
headlines, man. It's time for them headlines.
Headlines! Get your headlines here!
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna just cut that off right there. No big deal.
Cool.
It is time for the NFL.
Let's do it.
Are you ready for some football?
You better be ready for some football. That's right.
Football, bro. Happens. Close the file. 69. Offense. He's giving them the business.
Well, we had quite the week in the NFL.
It was a really
this
good
week.
weekend for
It's a good
football.
week. Yeah, definitely.
And I'm glad you brought this stat up here because I heard this a couple weeks ago when it came to all these one-score games, and
Yeah.
they're up a lot.
They really are, yeah. Of the 388 NFL games this year, 307 have been decided by 8 points or less. Almost 80% of the games have come down to one score, which basically means it's funner to watch.
Yeah, there's more exciting.
I mean, I'm
games.
sure you've been enjoying all of these Chiefs games that if you took away the last 2 minutes, they technically would have lost.
Yeah, they yeah, pretty much. It's been pissing me off.
Yeah.
They now set a record for 14 consecutive games won by
One
one
score.
score. Yep, that now I think beat the Patriots. I think that's who
I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a thing you want to beat the Patriots at, but notch it on the belt, man.
Yep.
You know, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But yeah, also the Chiefs and Bills clinch playoff spots this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're going to make the playoffs. Bills clinch their division, as most of the AFC East, if not all, lost this weekend. Well, not all, aside from the Bills, obviously. I think the other three teams lost. Did they not?
Yeah, the Patriots lost, and then the Dolphins lost to the Packers, and then the Jets lost to the Seahawks.
Yeah, well, the Jets suck.
Oh, yeah. But Aziz Al-Shair got suspended 3 games for the hit on Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and it just came out today. Trevor Lawrence on IR for 4 games.
Yeah. Did you see Tom Brady's comments about this?
To some degree, I kind of agree with it, but also it is kind of like,
for him to be the one to come out and say that when they literally changed the rules to make it safer for him, I think
mean,
that's
you could say
so
that.
hypocritical.
But yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence should have slid way earlier. They have brought it up, like, if it's that close, you should dive head first. But I mean,
but then we saw what happened with Tua. So why would
Yeah.
you dive head first?
well, don't dive head first at the guy's forearm, I guess.
I don't think he was the one intending to do that. That's the problem is as he
But you can't be expecting the guy tackling you to be worried about you. That's my thing. If you're worried about your own safety, then slide better or get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because the problem is, like, there's a way to, like, go. He's clearly sliding. All you got to do is touch him. That's easy.
Aziz Al-Shir had no chance to touch him. He was already initiating the tackle. What he fucked up was throwing his metal arm brace into his chin.
Yeah.
That's where he fucked up.
And here's the big thing too that we should address is after this happened Sunday night, there's a compilation that dates back even when Brady was playing, where he choked
grabbed
out
Brady by the neck.
Yes.
He grabbed his throat.
So this guy has a long history of this. And
that
this-
doesn't help him either.
This is the same thing that goes to like the Kareem Jackson thing, where it's like these guys have a tendency for it and they need to be punished for it because it's not like they're learning. Yes, the game has changed, but you have to adapt.
That's my thing. If he would have tried to hit him with his shoulder, I wouldn't have felt as bad. But he slid way too late. He's initiating a tackle, thinking the guy's going to be up higher, and the guy slides at the last minute. Like, he might have been hitting him in the midsection, but he slid and he hit him in the head. No, he forearm shivered him in the chin. That's where he screwed up. That's why I think he deserves to be suspended. His past stuff, I think, should have gotten him more games than 3. I think it should have been 4, but it is what it is. It should be as many as Trevor Lawrence is going to miss, at least.
Yeah, that'd be a good fitting punishment.
Yeah,
I like
he
that.
missed 4 games because of you. You missed 4 games. Enjoy that.
But then another injury. The Madden curse strikes again as C-Mac.
Twice.
Yep.
On the same guy. He had 2 different Madden covers. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 separate Madden covers, 2 separate. Technically 3, but
Yeah, and there's 2 separate times where he missed the first 12 games of the season or something. Came back, I think it was like last game or the game before that. And then
was it when Carolina he had the thigh or something? Quadricep injury. He came back after missing most of it. So I don't know. It's not that big a deal.
I don't know. But no, he missed like the first 12 games, and then he came back a couple weeks ago, and then this one wasn't even anything to do with his Achilles tendonitis. He landed on his knee, and it injured his
PCL.
Yep. So, and then they also lost Jordan Mason.
Yeah, and thankfully, I think it was in the Fringe Fanatics League. I grabbed him. Or maybe, I don't know.
Dude, and I think there is some bad voodoo around 49ers. Because did you hear about Trent Williams?
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
sad, man.
that sucks. If you don't know, he had his first, or I don't know if his first kid, but he had a child last week.
I don't think it was his first kid, but
Yeah, and it was stillborn. Super bummer story.
it wasn't stillborn. It was like a
No,
few.
he said it was stillborn.
No, I thought
What I
it
read
was like
today.
8 days or
Was it?
yeah, it was like
Oh,
a
damn.
couple weeks or something like that.
Well, I don't
but,
want to
yeah.
misreport on it, but yeah, super bummer. Regardless, yeah, not a good thing. But yeah, there. I mean, Ricky Pearsall gets shot in the beginning of the year.
I know. That's what I was thinking, man.
CMC,
It's like, what's going on with the 49ers?
Brandon Ayuk,
Brock Purdy had a shoulder
Brock
injury.
Purdy, yeah, dude. I don't know what Shanahan did, but
Yep.
it's like
Maybe that's what you get
needful
for-
things. You wish for something.
I mean, he's
but-
notorious for lying about the health of his players, so you shouldn't lie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Now
But-
you're in trouble.
Yep. Let's see. We got to get to Justin Tucker has missed a lot of field goals this year.
Yeah, he's a little tuckered out apparently.
He's missed a total of 8 field goals,
Yeah.
most in the season. Missed 10 extra points. Yeah. Wait. 10.
Oh,
missed
so
field
he's
goals
missed
plus-
more kicks in the 24-19 loss to the Eagles than he did in 6 total seasons.
Yep.
So he missed more kicks in one game Sunday than he did in all of 2012, 2013, 2016, 2017, 2019, and 2021 in total as seasons.
Yeah.
So he's got some issues. Oh, you put this one on here. I didn't see
he's
that one.
9 for 16 in field goals and losses. So a lot of those losses are his fault.
Yeah, I mean, more often than not, if you're missing field goals, they end up biting you in the ass.
Yeah.
It's happened to everybody, unfortunately. But yeah, the Ravens, it is sneaking up at the worst time as the Steelers keep winning. And speaking of the Steelers, Russell cooked a whole dang old feast this Thanksgiving week as he goes for 29 of 38 for 414 yards and 3 touchdowns as the Steelers forge the end to the Bengals' playoff hopes. I don't know what the Bengals are going to do. They've got some serious issues. They've got disgruntled wide receivers. They've got Joe Burrow buying the Batmobile for $2.9 million. Did you see that?
And he won't even get it for another year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bummer. But maybe that's when he'll get good.
Yeah.
Is next year when he has the Batmobile and becomes Bruce Wayne.
He's playing really good. It's his defense.
The thing is, if you look at Joe Burrow, if they were winning, he would probably be in the running for MVP.
Oh,
but
easily.
Because they're losing, he just looks like he's the one carrying the whole team.
It's awful, man. I mean, that defense, they've lost 3 games where they've scored 38 points. That's the most in NFL history.
Yeah. And I don't know what they're going to do. The defense is in shambles. The offense is not working the way it should. They don't have a running game anymore. They let Joe Mixon go. Things are not good there in the Bungles land, so to speak.
It's pretty off.
But they still have a really good quarterback. But yeah, Russell Wilson, 76.3 completion percentage, a passer rating of 126.4. And Russell looks like he's found his coach that believes in him, which is what he needed. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't Sean Payton. It's Payton. It is Mike Tomlin, who might go down as one of the better coaches of all time.
I think so, man.
I don't know how he couldn't be top 5.
I think this
dude.
makes what 18 winning seasons in a row.
It's nuts.
Yeah,
just win, baby.
Yep.
He might as well be the Raiders coach.
It's pretty amazing how he just keeps winning.
Yeah, and then we had a wild Monday night game, which was very fitting for the fact that we had Rod Bloom on from the Cleveland podcast, which I believe was, I can't remember the name of it right now.
Oh, man.
Browns Blitz.
Yeah.
Browns Blitz podcast, sorry. But yeah, it was very fitting that this game went the way it did. I honestly thought it was going to be, kind of a 21-17 game, but no. Jerry Jeudy had a chip on his shoulder, and Jameis Winston threw 6 touchdowns, 2 of which to the other team.
Yep. Lord, just deliver me from these pick sixes.
You know what he did? He delivered us another awesome viral moment at the end of that game. But Jerry Jeudy had his best game of his career. 9 catches, 235 yards, and a touchdown. He also broke the record for the most yards in a game against his former team. I believe Terrell Owens against the Eagles was the last one for the Cowboys. And then also just another insane stat, which I think this speaks to why Kevin Stefanski should not be fired.
Definitely
Browns
not.
quarterbacks Jameis Winston and Joe Flacco are both top 5 in NFL history with passing yards by a QB in his first 5 games for a team. Number 1, 2024, Jameis Winston, 1,680 yards. Number 2, 2023, Joe Flacco, wacko for Flacco, 1,616 yards. So they hold the number 1 and 2 spot for most passing yards by a player in his first 5 games with the team. And none of those are named Deshaun Watson. So I think that may be the problem. Obviously, Jameis Winston isn't the answer, but Deshaun Watson sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. Jameis Winston, he might be the answer. He just broke the Browns record for the most passing yards in a game, too.
He did, but it's games like that on Monday night where you can't have Jameis Winston be your fucking...
I don't know, man.
He can't be your organization's go-to quarterback, man. He can't be the guy.
It was fun to watch. I'll say that. That was a fun game.
It was. It's all the way down to the end, man. They had him there. I knew that the game was basically over. There was I think there was like 40 seconds left when that interception happened. But yeah, I was like, God damn it, Jameis.
Yep. It was fun, man. He was slinging the ball. Jerry Jeudy was just running all over him.
Yeah.
Had Riley Moss been playing, it would have been a way different game.
Would have been different, yeah, because the Jerry Jeudy against Patrick Surtain, 2 catches for 20 yards. I think against Levi Wallace, it was like 7 catches for 134 yards or something like that.
It was crazy.
And also, Jerry Jeudy could have had another one had Jameis Winston not missed him on a wide open down the middle bomb that Jameis Winston overthrew him by like 8 yards.
Yeah.
I believe that was in like the second quarter. But yeah, Jerry Jeudy could have just set the single season or single game record for receiving yards in that game had it not been for Jameis not being the most accurate. But any Hoosier, do we have anything else for the NFL?
I believe that's it, except for the Daily Dogs.
The Daily Dog. Let's get into it.
Daily. Dogs out!
All right, man. Let's do it. You ready?
You also got to hit a different soundbite for this one.
You got a hot take?
Yeah, we're going to do a little ELE.
Oh, man. I don't even know if we have ELE on here. Son of a bitch. Oh, we do. We do.
Hey, I got a ring up here too. Mine says love. Think about that. Everybody love everybody!
That's right. We're going to do it a little differently this week. We have the 2 Daily Dogs, and we haven't done the ELE segment in quite some time. It's the Everybody Love Everybody segment where we debate a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're going to debate is each of ours Daily Dogs make a case for their Heisman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take Ashton Genty.
All right. Well, I got Mr. Travis Hunter.
Yep.
So
We both had stellar weekends last week.
yeah, let's get into it. I'll let you start it as I'm pulling up some things still right now as I was running behind earlier.
Okay, well, I will start it off by giving you this stat. Just let's go into last week's. Against Oregon State, Ashton Genty had 37 rushing attempts, got the ball a lot. 226 yards and 1 TD. All right. He finished the season, get this, 2,288 yards, 28 TDs, averaged 7.3 yards per carry on 312 carries. Pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. The only thing is, and I said this last week, was if he broke Barry Sanders' record, he deserves it. And he didn't do that.
He was kind of far from it.
He was a little far from it. And how many other guys are right around that point? More than one. You know where there's only one? Travis Hunter.
Yep.
I believe his FBS rankings was he was number 5 for receivers, with a ranking of 88.5. I believe in the NFL, the number 5 receiver is Amon-Ra St. Brown with a ranking of 88.1.
Wow.
In terms of the other side of the ball, because mind you, this guy averages over 120 snaps a game. On the other side of the ball, he is ranked number 1 at 90.9 as a cornerback. The number 1 cornerback in the NFL, Patrick Surtain, 88.5.
Jesus.
That's the thing, man.
It's hard to argue this.
I get it.
Definitely hard to argue.
Ashton Genty, dude, I'm all about it. Me and you have talked about it. I love running backs. They're a dying breed, unfortunately. They're seeing a little bit of resurgence this year as the deep ball has gone away, and you got to open up the field to play action and all that stuff. But running backs are down. Wide receivers are up. Cornerbacks are up. And you're looking at a guy who is top 5 on one side and number 1 on the other. It's never been done before. I mean, let's talk about Champ Bailey.
I'm going to argue this, though. He's not number 1 on the other side. In that one category, he is. I've got some stats for you here. This is Ashton Genty in all of his...
Number one.
In rush attempts, first. Rushing yards, first. Rushing yards per attempt, tied for 3rd. Rushing yards from scrimmage, first. Rushing TDs, first. TDs from scrimmage, first. Total TDs, first. Total points, first. Boise State total offense, 4th. Okay? Let's get down to Travis Hunter. Mind you, full disclosure, I know he plays both ways. That is why he is deserving of this, and it's amazing.
It's kind of the outlier, unfortunately.
But we'll run down his rankings. In receptions, 6th. Receiving yards, 14th. Receiving yards per game, 14th. Receiving yards per reception, not in the top 100. Receiving TDs, tied for 8th. Interceptions. Now, this is where we get into that argument with number one cornerback in the FBS. Interceptions, tied for 29th. Passes defended, tied for 23rd. Colorado team defense passing, 53rd. I know he's just one player. Then Colorado total offense, 56th. Okay? You got one guy that's first. Then the other one where he's middle of the pack and everything.
But you have a guy who also is totally dependent on himself, more or less, as once he gets the ball, that's it. It's on him. There's one interaction you're waiting on, and that is the handoff from the quarterback. You've got another guy who has defenders all over him. You've got on both sides, whether it's a defender or it's a wide receiver, he's got somebody attacking him at all points. Granted, Ashton Genty, everybody's trying to tackle him once he gets the ball. I guess my thing is, I look at Ashton Genty's, and there's a whole bunch of stats in first on one side of the ball. It's the thing is, though, we've never ever seen anybody do what Travis Hunter has done to this extent on both sides of the ball.
We've seen Charles Woodson do it, but not to this extent.
Packages.
Okay.
There's package. Champ Bailey did it. Packages, though.
Here's my next rebuttal. All right. We've seen the last three. I'm going to name the last three running backs that have won the Heisman, okay? And if it wasn't for Travis Hunter, then Ashton Genty would be getting this award.
Yeah, we know that.
It's a shame. All right, so the last one was 2015 with Derrick Henry. He totaled 1,526 yards that year, 21 rushing TDs. He averaged 6.1 yards per carry. Then 2009, another Alabama running back, Mark Ingram, finished with 1,399 rushing yards and then 12 TDs. Okay, then way before that, back when I was in high school, the amazing, unbelievable Heisman that got taken away, Reggie Bush.
They gave it back.
1,398 yards, 13 TDs, 8.6 yards per carry. Okay, then look at Ashton Genty. His numbers dwarf those. 2,000 yards, 2,062 is what he finished with. That's just... and this was actually taken through 11 games. So this was before last week's. That's why that is. But, yeah, I mean, he's way better than all those other running backs that won the Heisman.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's totally fair. I get that. I mean, you look at those years, though, they're down years for quarterbacks, much like this year is a down year for a quarterback. In that Derrick Henry class, you had Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, you had Deshaun Watson, and Baker Mayfield in the Heisman voting.
Yep.
Two of what we can consider probably the most prolific running backs of the last decade, so to speak, with Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey. It's I don't know. It's a down year for quarterbacks. We both know if Quinn Ewers or whoever threw for some insane amount of yards, this would be a moot point, unfortunately.
I will agree with you for as a whole, it is a down year for quarterbacks, but not at CU. This is my last arguing point.
Okay, all right.
I believe the Heisman should go to the most valuable person on that team.
Yeah.
The most valuable person for that school. It's Ashton Genty. Because if it wasn't for him, Boise State right now is ranked 13th. They're going to be in the playoff. Actually, we were going to bring this up. They are – oh, that's a different note.
Well, I mean, their coach did have a very good point. He's like, usually you'd want the Heisman playing in a conference championship.
Yeah.
But the Big 12's a little bit because they're in the Mountain State.
Yep.
CSU, Wyoming.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. They don't have that good of competition.
Okay.
Boise State, they
are
won
good.
all their games, I think, except for one. I can't remember which one they lost. But Boise State is ranked 4th, okay? CU, what are they ranked now? 20th?
I don't know what it's at. They were at 23rd a couple days ago, but they moved up to 20th.
That's my argument. If it wasn't for Ashton Genty, Boise State would be nothing. They have a great offensive line. However, Travis Hunter has Shedeur Sanders. If it wasn't for Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders would be in the Heisman. If they had to vote for the top 10, if you had a list, Shedeur is probably top 5. Okay,
yeah. So he's in the top 10 for sure, even with what it is now.
So you got 2 top 5 guys on the same team. So it's not like he's the most valuable person on his team.
You got to also take into consideration, though, you mentioned a lot of his wide receiver stats. He also has 2 other wide receivers that are probably going to go first and second round on this team as well.
That's building my case even better.
I don't think so, because there's more guys to throw to when Travis Hunter is getting doubled. Those other guys are eating.
No, I hear you.
It's
but
famine
that's what
over
I'm saying.
here. They're
you got
eating.
one guy on a pretty mediocre school that's taken them to huge heights,
Yeah.
and then you got a bunch of stars. Okay, this
Yeah.
is kind of irrelevant to the MVP for the NFL. That's why I don't really agree with
Okay.
Lamar.
I've got a rebuttal. Aside from Ash and Genty and this year, how much has BYU? How much has Boise State been on ESPN the last 2 years?
Not very much.
And CU?
A lot.
And that's because
Shador,
Travis
Travis
Hunter.
Hunter. Yeah, not just Travis
I
Hunter.
know.
It's Shador.
I know.
You
but
got
still.
other stars on that team. This
True.
is what I'm saying is the MVP should not go to Lamar this year because he's got Derrick Henry. Okay, Josh Allen, it should be Josh Allen right now or Saquon Barkley.
Oh, it's
okay?
like we always said. They just need to make a new fucking,
Well, the
they
thing
need
of
to
it
make
is
the
like
quarterback-
Josh Allen is the most important
And then
person
the
on
most
that team.
valuable player.
If you take Derrick Henry off the Ravens, Lamar's stats and the Ravens' success goes
Yeah.
way down.
I mean,
okay?
they still were number 1 in rushing last year. Let's not forget that.
But it didn't matter in the AFC Championship
It didn't,
because Lamar
but-
didn't perform like an MVP.
It's true.
And
He's
he even
also-
got it last year.
He's also significantly increased his passing stats this year. So
Maybe we'll have another ELE for the
We will.
MVP because my vote right now is it's either Saquon or Lamar. Or not Lamar, excuse me, or Josh Allen.
yeah,
Especially after that
No, for
ridiculous
sure.
play last week.
and there's still a lot of controversy over the scoring of it, but
I don't understand how there's controversy. It's simple.
because he
man.
got 2 touchdowns.
I know
on 1 touchdown.
I understand it, but I'm saying
why.
is like I don't get why people are mad.
because he got 2 touchdowns on 1 touchdown.
But that's
1 touchdown happened and he got 2.
yes, but
He multiplied a touchdown.
because of the lateral.
I know,
But
that's why.
That's I mean same. So someone was asking about this. At
Well, it's
work, and
just
I
like,
said,
what about on a kickoff and they're lateraling it? Should
That's what I was about
the
to
last guy that lateraled it get a passing touchdown?
That's why this isn't like news to me because a lot of times, like when Kelsey laterals, because he does it a lot, just did it last week.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wondered, like, where does the fantasy points go to? And it goes to the person that he laterals to. This is like old school backyard football.
yeah.
I don't understand why people are mad about it or like think that there's controversy. He's the one that took the last chunk. So if you
Yeah,
have,
no, I get it.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not mad about it.
No, I know.
get it. But
I'm just saying,
I
like,
get
people
also
that-
why they're like, well, he got 2 touchdowns for 1 touchdown.
That-
He got a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown.
And he should for what he
But
did.
at the end of the day, he should have just got a rushing touchdown because what happened before that doesn't matter. It's who crossed the line.
No, because it's a forward pass.
I know.
If it went backwards, then that would be a rushing one.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of football. There's a lot of crazy,
Well, and
wacky
also
stuff that can
we could
happen.
also say that play never should have happened because I don't know why the officials, if it's a quarterback, that whistle would have blown 30 seconds ago, but somehow, we got Amari Cooper standing there like this.
Oh, yeah.
For like 10 seconds.
Oh, I know.
And Josh Allen's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "I don't know.
Here,
It's
you
getting
take
in
it."
here." And he's like, "Should I come get it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll come get it."
Hot potato.
And then
man.
all of a sudden they're like, "Yeah, we didn't blow the whistle, but if it was Mahomes or Josh Allen in the pocket, it would have been like,
Oh, yep.
you know what I mean?" So-
I hear you.
But either way,
Yeah,
nonetheless.
that was kind of weird.
All right, well, let's move on. What else do we got here? We're gonna try and wrap it up here pretty quick because I think we're just gonna hit the rivalry week this week.
Yeah,
because
that's what the episode's going to be named after. Because first off, what do you think? Do you think they should ban planting the flags?
yes.
Oh my god, man!
I'll tell you why.
E
I'll tell you why, dude. Because where does it end? Where does it end? You're gonna have every time a rivalry game, we're gonna have the SWAT team on the 50-yard line waiting to break everybody up when they go try and run.
No, because if let's say the game's in, it's going to be in Michigan next year, and if they don't want OSU to plant their flag, then beat them.
Well, here's what the schools
that's
do: no fans in the stands. Because we're getting tired of getting fined $100,000 every time this happens.
They don't care.
Oh, I know
That's
they don't
chunk
care.
change to them.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's also like the first time somebody gets trampled and dies, then it becomes a thing. The first time, I mean, we had Ohio State players getting pepper sprayed.
Yeah, I know.
that seems ridiculous to me. And at a certain point, you got to just be like, you can't do it.
Well, here's a good example.
How about
Baker
this?
did it to Texas, and Texas didn't go out there
That
and
was
start
back
fights.
then, I know. But now it's it was Baker one time, 1 year, and now it's every team on Rivalry.
It was awesome.
Going
man.
over with the Trident for Arizona State.
You had NC State do it. You had Florida and FSU, man. This
But
is
that's
what
all anybody's
rivalries
talking
are
about. They don't even care about the game. They're just talking about the ending.
No, I mean, it's clearly about the game. I mean, Michigan was an unranked team.
I know.
There is no
The win means
reason.
absolutely nothing other than the fact that they screwed up Ohio State's ending of
and
their
that's
year.
what's great. I love it.
That's it.
what's great about
Do
rivalries.
that and then walk off the field, and that's way more of a statement than going and trying to plant the flag.
Nah, I think
That
it's
to
fun.
me is just childish at that point. Like, you already won, dude. You won. You got to go plant the flag? Why? Who cares?
Because it's dude, they're 20-year-old
It's because
kids.
now you're one-upping each other. We had Baker do it. Now everybody's got to have a viral moment of
Well,
their
that's
own.
what I was going to bring up. I liked Baker's comments on it. He was like, "Let the kids play." I mean, it's
So
just,
then don't pepper spray them.
No, you got to pepper
Then
spray
don't-
them
then
all
don't-
Like that. Well,
Then you have to not let that happen because you have now.
did they
you-
shoot anybody?
No, but dude,
I
it
mean,
could
they
happen.
just got pepper sprayed. It's
yeah.
not that big of a deal.
It's not just getting pepper sprayed. Getting pepper sprayed sucks.
Yeah, but then I
I've
mean,
been
they're going
pepper
to learn
sprayed.
their
It
lesson
sucks.
of it. But now, maybe next year, and this is for sure going to happen. They need to fire Ryan
It's
Day.
only gonna get
Ryan
worse,
Day
though.
cannot beat Michigan.
That's the thing, because if Ohio State wins next year, they're gonna be even more fucking set on doing it, and it's gonna be an even bigger brawl.
Well, that's why Michigan's going to
And
be
then
trying
people
to
are
beat
gonna
them.
get fucking shot with rubber bullets, and
Yeah.
then it's gonna be a whole thing, and then we won't have rivalry week anymore.
Oh my god!
You can either play the game and kick their ass and win and just be like, yeah, dude, you guys fucking should have won and we beat you, and you walk off the field and go home happy about it.
and then you go read a book and have a coffee.
You read
or
a
something.
book,
That
you have a
sounds
coffee,
boring.
you eat some bonbons.
No, you stick the flag in there. You know what Marquez Valdez Scantling did in Vegas to
Yep.
the Raiders Stadium when we won? He planted a flag there.
Yeah, and you guys were pissed when the Raiders drove around your stadium.
Yeah, and you know what we did the next time? We beat.
What
their
about
ass.
Christmas Day?
Yeah, that's fine. We
Okay,
won
that happened after.
We won the
So
Super
it didn't
Bowl.
mean anything.
We won the Super Bowl, man, that year.
Yeah,
that's fine.
and it was all because of planting flags, right? If
Oh
you
my god! There's
plant a
nothing
flag
wrong
and
with
grow a tree, you know?
it. Oh my
Fucking
god!
tree huggers. But yeah, it was nuts, man. I mean, it was Michigan State, Ohio State. Did Syracuse?
Or not Michigan State, but
Oh,
Michigan.
Michigan. Sorry,
yeah.
Michigan beating Ohio State.
Yeah, Arizona State did it. Let's see. Yeah, NC State. There was Florida. There's a couple others, but man, I could not believe how much it was going on. But
That's the thing. It's not cool anymore. It's like it happened 6 times in one day. When it happened
That's
with
the
Baker,
cool part
it
about it.
happened once, and
No.
that was cool. And now everybody's just copycatting.
it makes the rivalries even better.
It's just
Okay, here's another good
copycatting.
one. I mean, the Texas.
Do something new. Take
Texas
a poop
Indian?
on the 50. Just pull down your pants and take a shit on their logo.
That happened
Fuck
in
the flag.
our school rivalry with Parsons. One of those guys.
That's
came
what I'm
and
saying.
said-
Somebody
yeah.
needs to take poops.
Now
Dude,
that's
now that's
child-
cool.
And you don't
No,
think that's
that's
childish?
cool.
That's babyish. No.
Not unless
Planting
it's baby
a flag
food.
is almost like medievalish, man. It's like capture the flag. I love it.
Yeah, well,
Let's get into the
Let's just-
actual games.
okay.
All right, so Syracuse beat Miami. They knocked them out of the playoff. That was Miami's last hope of getting into the playoff. Because of that, Clemson got in, and they even lost their game, but they still get into the college playoff, possibly, at least the ACC championship. Texas defeated Texas A&M in its first rivalry game since 2011. That was an awesome game. Wasn't really high scoring. I watched a lot of that game, and Texas just totally controlled it. They are my pick to win it all. Then we got, we talked about Michigan upsetting Ohio State. Now, last night, the new college football playoff rankings came out. This is how it goes. As we've talked about, the top 4 teams get a bye, which is Texas, SMU, and look at SMU, man. Southern Miss. Nick told me about that documentary, the SMU.
The death penalty?
Yes, the death
I don't know if
penalty.
that's what it's called, but
He said it's something like that because of all of even the governor
that
was
was Eric
paying the
Dickerson,
players.
I
Yep.
think. Yeah.
He said even the governor was paying the players.
Dude, it's like Miami back in the day. The joke was all those 90s Miami guys like, we took a pay cut to go to the NFL, dude.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So it's nuts that SMU has bounced back this well. They have a great school. I like them now because that's where Rashee Rice went. And then you got Oregon at number 1, Texas at number 2, and then Boise State, Ashton Genty School at number 4. All right. Then the first round.
The thing I'm looking at has them at 10, but
This is from
this is
week
the FBS
15.
rankings. SFP 25.
Okay.
I don't know. It's, I haven't
this
looked
is
at
the
wrong
college. This is what I got off ESPN yesterday.
thing. Okay, that's what I was looking at. But, yeah.
All right. So then the first round, the rest of the rankings, they will play in the first round. Right now, the matchup, as it would stand if they were to play tomorrow, would be Arizona State versus Penn State. Arizona State has shocked everybody. I cannot believe this school, and we're going to get to them here in a little bit, but that is insane how well they've turned that. If you would have told me at the beginning of the year that would be Arizona State and Iowa State in the Big 12 championship, I'd been like, you're on drugs.
Yeah.
Then you got Ohio State versus Tennessee. And if Ryan Day doesn't win that game or at least win a national championship, that dude is getting fired. Because if the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry is so big, that's what it all lies on. It all rides on if you can beat that school. Same goes for Sharon over there in Michigan. Then you got 11 versus 6, Alabama. They still got in just because Miami really hasn't beaten anybody.
I don't know how they get in over Ole Miss.
I know.
But,
it
that's
is nuts. But they still have to beat no, not Georgia, but I think they still have to. I don't know. There's a chance that they could still get knocked out. I'm not really sure. But they play Notre Dame and then Indiana versus Georgia. That'll be a good matchup. So I can't wait for this playoff. It's going to be awesome.
It is much better now that they have at least more teams. The 8 was dumb. Wasn't it 4 at one point? Didn't we go 4, 8, 12? Or has it always been 8?
It's always been, no, not 8. It's always been 4, and then they just moved to 12.
Okay. I
Yeah,
thought there was
yeah.
8 at one point. Oh, Jesus
No.
Christ. But yeah, it should be super fun to watch. This is when, you get to watch the best of the best play. So it is nice to see that Alabama Notre Dame game. If it stays there, that's going to be a fun one for sure there.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you
And
know?
they just won really big. It was like 49-6 against somebody. I can't remember. But yeah, awesome weekend. Rivalry Royal Rumble. That's what it was.
Rivalry Royal Rumble. Yes. So, well, it's that time. We're going to wrap her up.
Let's do it. Oh, just real
No,
quick. We'll
we're
just
not.
hit it real quick. Hit the F1 sound.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
We'll just,
no
yeah.
time.
We'll talk about it real quick. The Qatar Grand Prix happened this
I
weekend.
watched this one. I watched pretty much
I watched
the
the
whole thing.
majority
Yep.
of it. I missed some parts as I was driving around, but great race, and Verstappen wins his 9th Grand Prix of the year.
It's awesome. So he had the pole Saturday night, and then because of a stupid ticky-tacky violation, they bumped him down and put George Russell up there. And man, did Verstappen embarrass George Russell, because he said, he was like, all right, I'm going to pass you in the first turn. And that's exactly what he did, and
Yeah.
he never gave up the lead.
Yeah, he gripped it and ripped it right out of the starting gate and just fucking went around everybody. You thought Norris was going to get him for a second, and he cut right in front of him, and that was it.
That was
Everybody
it,
saw his
man.
taillights for the rest of the race.
Yeah.
And effectively now, I don't know if...
So now it comes down to Abu Dhabi for the constructor standings, because if they thought it might get decided in Qatar, but it didn't. And so now, as the points go for the full team Constructors Cup, McLaren at 644 and then Ferrari at 619. It's basically those two who's going to get it. And then Red Bull is at 3rd.
Yeah, and this is the first time in F1 history that a driver has won the championship with a car or a constructor team that has done that bad.
Yeah.
So hats off to Max Verstappen. It just goes to prove he doesn't even have the best car this year, but he's the best driver, and that's why he won the Grand Prix.
Yep. And then he did not have some very nice comments about George Russell afterwards. He said he lost
He's
all
a prick.
respect for him. Yep. Yeah, because George Russell was just whining about the whole violation thing Saturday night, and he's like, "Fine, you can take the pole. I'm still gonna beat you."
Anytime he was on there bitching on Drive to Survive, I was just always like, he just kind of sounds like a pompous prick.
That's kind of why I like Max, dude. He reminds me of like Dale Earnhardt. He drives
Yeah.
kind of recklessly.
Rubbin's racing, dude.
Yep, Rubbin's racing. It's badass, dude. I'll take it, man. But the news came out today that old school vet, one of the greats, Daniel Ricciardo, will race for Cadillac when Cadillac joins in 2026. Thought that was
I was
cool.
hoping that he would stick around. I do think he's like kind of just a face for
That's
a
it.
team right
Yeah.
now, but he's a decent driver. I don't think he's going to win, but he'll keep you maybe sniffing around the top 10. And that's probably a good thing for Cadillac to come in with a face like Ricardo. Everybody loves him. I think he's buddies with the Bussin' with the Boys guys.
Oh no shit.
There's
That's
some
cool.
NFL guys he's cool with.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, he's a great dude, and that's super cool. I'm glad to hear that. As you know, we know Sergio Perez sounds like he's out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it did
Yeah,
become official. He's out of Red
done.
Bull.
So
Yep.
we're gonna have a new driver at Red Bull. We'll see who that is. You
get
know,
Piastri
it's
in
gonna
there.
be somebody pretty damn good.
I hope so.
If they got Oscar, they would be unstoppable.
They really would, man. Yeah.
Because Norris ain't leaving. But I mean, they have the money to get anybody they want.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, when is the next race? I didn't. look
December
that-
8th. It's this Sunday.
This
at
Sunday.
6 a.m. in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, get up early, set your alarms, tune in. I have to say, honestly, the first turn of the F1 race, just listening to the announcers is super fun.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
so pumped.
It's awesome.
First seven.
Well, this race, it was
6
kind of a
a.m.,
bummer
man.
because there were so many wrecks. It was fun because they were driving so aggressively because they're trying to accumulate these
Yeah, right
points.
after this. I think it was the
But
second or
the-
third turn we had a wreck.
I
We
think it
already
was
got
the
safety flag.
second
Yeah.
turn. Yeah, then we had a safety flag. Then we had a few others. I think it was Haas or Hulkenberg that had to
Oh
retire.
yeah, Nico.
Oh, and Lewis Hamilton. Did you see this dude? I don't
He's
think he's
pissed.
going to race for Mercedes on Abu Dhabi. They've been talking to that after that whole fiasco because he wanted to retire his
him
car.
And,
They had
Toto.
ballots.
well, him and his like main guy that on the radio that he always talks about. They got into it.
Yeah, they
And
told him
he said
to
pit
keep
the
racing.
car, and he's like, no, pit the car, and they're like, no, don't. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's like, shut it down, retire the car, and they're like, no,
No,
stay out
keep,
there.
keep racing. Yeah, he was not happy. So there's
But I mean,
a lot of talks that
that's
he
what's
might.
so weird. Could you imagine if like halfway through the season, Isaiah Pacheco got traded? And he had to stay on the team for the rest of the
and that's
season.
what I don't
It's
get.
so
It's
weird.
so weird
How
the way
can
they
you
do it.
stay competitive and want to win for somebody who's already let you go?
It's like when you
It's
know
so
you're going to
awkward.
leave a job and you've
Yeah.
got 2 weeks left,
but it's like
and then
6
you're like,
months.
Oh wow, man! I've got to work here for another 6 months. Like, oh, what?
They told me they didn't want me. Damn it!
It's crazy. Yeah.
So I get it. That's got to be awkward. But yeah, he didn't handle that very well. But nonetheless,
Yeah. Oh, real quick before we move from F1, we're not going to get into it
Oh,
too much.
UFC
There
310.
is a UFC pay-per-view this week to cap off the weekend.
Wait.
Let's get it on!
let's get it on UFC 310.
It's a good main card. Really, I mean, honestly, dude, the vets on this. Do you remember Clay Guida?
Yeah, he's fought like 90 times.
38 and 21, dude. 59 times.
Yeah,
And or something like that. Is that what I say that right?
38,
Yeah,
21,
yeah,
59. Dude, look at that. You did math on the fly.
That's just addition.
You should teach it.
But this guy's still fighting. I mean, there's some old school vets on this card. Michael Chiesa. Let's see, Chris Weidman, dude, who's still got one leg.
We
I
all
think.
remember him breaking his leg.
Yep. Brian Battle. And then
He lost
Aljamain-
his last fight, didn't he?
Yeah, it was pretty rough to watch. Aljamain Sterling, who's always fought for championships or on the main card, is on the
He's
prelims.
on the prelims.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, the big fights though, the main fight, the main event, it's a flyweight title bout, Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Asakura.
Yep, came from the Japanese fighting
I watched the
organization.
video of him breaking a guy's jaw.
Oh no shit!
Yeah,
Damn,
broke
nice.
it right here.
Wow.
Dude's
Yeah, it's going to be a super exciting fight.
Yeah,
He was
right.
lighting it up. I think it was in the Japanese organization called Ryzen.
Oh, yeah. RISEN or something like that, or
I
RYZEN.
think there's a Z.
Probably
Yep.
cool like that.
Yep.
But yeah, right now, Alexandre Pantoja is favored at minus 285. And then the co-main event,
This was-
Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Machado Gary, the cuck, as people call him sometimes.
Yeah, it is true. They're the battle of the undefeateds. Man.
Yeah.
You got Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Machado. Both Ian's 15-0, and then Shavkat is 18-0. They actually fought. They train at the same gym at Killcliff.
So they've probably been. That's got to be so weird when that happens.
Yeah.
When you train at the same place and you got to fight.
But apparently Shavkat made him tap out a while back, and he was like, "You should have released the video, man." And so Ian, it's kind of like one of there's a bunch of drama and stuff.
Yeah,
but
I feel like there's always drama with
I think
Ian
Shavkat
Machado.
pulls this off, and he's
He's
heavy favorite. 390.
Well, yeah, this was from today, so maybe it changed. You might have just looked at it, but this was off of UFC minus 375 to Gary Machado at plus 295. But yeah, I mean you're right around there.
Yep.
Heavy favorite.
Coming from Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
My sister's the number 2 prostitute in the world. I love Kazakhstan. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But and then we got our holy roller Bryce Mitchell from Arkansas. Fighting
Yep.
Kron
The flat
Gracie.
earther.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. It should
He's
be
fighting
a
a
good card.
Gracie.
Yeah, Kron Gracie. He's like the
The
grandson.
great grand. I don't even
Hoist.
know now.
Yep.
That family lineage is getting so long. We're gonna be having like fucking great grandsons fighting soon.
Yeah, he's a black belt, obviously in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but man, the rest of his game is awful. No stand-up game at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did want to mention one other thing, and then we're getting out of here because this is just absolute insanity in the MLB.
Oh yeah.
The Dodgers. I think they've broken baseball.
Well, and when I saw this, have you seen Blake Snell's numbers over the past 2 years, man? He's not been the same Cy Young winner.
Doesn't matter.
I mean,
But yeah, after signing Blake Snell and Tommy Edman, the Dodgers are now on the hook for $1,006,500,000 for 7 players through 2028 to 2046.
Jesus.
Snell signs a $182 million deal with $66 million paid to him through July 1st, which we all know, Bobby Bonilla Day, and that's 2046. Tommy Edman's $74 million 5-year deal includes $25 million payable through July 1st, 2020 or 2044. This isn't fair, man.
It's not.
You're paying guys, they're going to be 50 years old and you're starting to pay them.
Yep.
And the Rockies can't even pay $200 million and you've got $1 billion for the next 30 years.
They need to put a salary cap on baseball because this is just ruining it. I mean,
It's
it's
ridiculous.
going to be Yankees, Dodgers, Padres, Mets every year.
Yeah, you
It's a
know
bummer.
what? We'll pay you in 40 years.
Yep. That's stupid. It's so dumb.
I just had to say that because it's breaking baseball, unfortunately. After all the good they did with the pitch count and everything, to now go to just this absolute insanity, and now they want to have. Did you see the golden hitter rule or whatever?
Yeah.
It's like
What is this, a
backyard
circus?
baseball,
This is a
man.
circus,
Yeah,
man.
just bring anybody up at one point in
It's
the game,
done.
whatever.
Rob Manfred is ruining the game. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
it
bums me out. But
It
it's
does.
that time. At the
Let's
end of the
hear it.
show,
The
when
man, the myth,
the
the
legend
legend.
himself, Mr. John Daly, is gonna hit it daily. Not that one. He's gonna hit it hard, man. Damn it! You can't win them all, folks. John Daly knows something about that. I hit it hard. Well, it's that time, the end of the show, when John Daly grips it, rips it, sips it, tips it, and hits it hard. And we do the same thing as we focus on somebody who does something extraordinary. whether that be on the field, off the field, whatever it is. If they did something extraordinary, we are going to feature them on the Daily Dose of Excellence. And as Chad alluded to earlier, we are going to be featuring the head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, as this man has made a whole lot of money since basically signing at this point.
He has a base salary of $3.95 million. He's actually 13th out of the 16 coaches in the Big 12. And when he brought his program to 9 wins, he got an extra $200,000. And that was like a stipulation in his contract.
Yeah.
And instead of just taking all that money for himself, he did the Good Samaritan deed.
Yeah. He did. He actually gave that $200,000 a bonus to himself to 20 off-the-field staffers last week. He told them that they would all receive bonuses in the $5,000 to $10,000 range, and that news came down 2 days after ASU defeated BYU, which is what ended up giving him that $200,000 bonus. Kenny Dillingham, though, has made nearly $1 million in bonuses on top of his $3.95 million salary in his second season as Arizona State's head coach. ASU's 10-2 record and Big 12 championship game appearance triggered several raises to his base contract, which was first inked in December of 2022. But it's just cool to see. He's like, man, look at all this money I already made.
It's awesome, man.
Above and beyond what I wanted to get paid for to do this job. And he goes out and he's like, it's right before the holidays. Thanksgiving just happened. I'm going to divide this $200,000 bonus to those people who really, go more often than not as unsung heroes, those off-field staffers doing whatever it is to keep the daily stuff going around the team. And he's going to give them, $5,000 to $10,000, which for a lot of people right now at
That's
this
huge.
time of year, that doesn't just get you a good Christmas. That pays bills and stuff. So it's super cool to see.
What's cool too is it's the off-field guys. It's not
It's
even
not
the
like
assistant coaches
yeah.
that might make 80, 100 grand or something like that. It's maybe guys that like are equipment managers or groundskeepers on the field or something like that. But here's something that's pretty cool. They might even get some more money. Dillingham would make another bonus of $395,000 if ASU wins the Big 12 title game against Iowa State this upcoming week. A victory would probably get the Sun Devils into the first ever 12-team college football playoff, which would result in another 30% of his yearly salary,
Jesus, dude,
about a
this guy.
$1.185 million.
Damn.
So he has a chance to make some dough.
Yeah, no, that's no lie. I just tried to Google what exactly an off-field staff would be considered. So it's people not directly involved with on-field competition, including roles like equipment managers, video analysis, athletic trainers, administrative staff. So yeah, it's your ball boys. It's like, all those people who do the stuff, the nitty-gritty stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes on and if they do make it to the college football playoff, he probably will dole some of that out to some other people who deserve it, because
cool.
this guy's done quite a bit for not only Arizona State, but just everybody involved at this point.
And, this is Arizona State's first year in the Big 12, too. So, way to make a splash.
Yeah.
Pretty badass.
Yeah, definitely. And he's a young guy. He began his coaching career at 17 years old after he tore his ACL during his senior year. And that's where it all started for him.
Man, what a blessing. Blessing in disguise.
He went to Arizona State University, graduating in 2012 with a degree in interdisciplinary studies, and he was hired as an offensive assistant at Arizona State in 2014 under offensive coordinator Mike Norvell. This guy's kind of been there for a while too, so it's super cool to not only see him be the head coach, but to have gone to school there, worked his way up, and now he is doing everything he can to put what he's done back into the program.
That's right.
What do you got going on?
Hats off to you, Mr. Kenny Dillingham. Because
keep
there's a
taking
lot
off.
of bosses, there's a lot of
actually
CEOs
going
out
hats
there
off?
that could take that money for themselves, and they do it all the time, but this guy didn't. So hats off to you, sir.
Indubitably. Hats
Yep.
off to you. But yeah, super cool. We always like featuring this stuff. And actually, next week, we're going to go all out, man. There's been just me and Chad. It's funny because for like a month, we really had trouble finding DDOEs. I mean, there's always good stuff happening, but there wasn't any really like great DDOE stuff. So we were struggling there for a bit. But then the last 2 weeks, I feel like that's Don's. Go there if you like the Chiefs. But there, it's also a cool bar. But yeah, it's shit. Now I lost my train of thought.
Bar.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I had to go there one time when stuff's not going on.
But yeah, it's pretty cool when these people do this stuff. So
Yeah.
we try to honor them.
Yeah, and we were running out of time for all the ones that just been started popping up the last 2 weeks. So next week, I don't think we have.
No, I didn't schedule anybody for next week.
So
Yep.
we have an opening, and it's going to be a DDOE extravaganza.
Yep.
We've already got a bunch of stuff in the chamber ready to go to talk about, so it's going to be a feel-good, happy episode. And we're still going to be talking sports. We'll probably still hit the usual headlines and stuff, but the second half of the show is definitely going to be just focusing on feel-good stories and all that good stuff to get us ready for the holidays.
Yeah, it's a good way to cap off the year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's we haven't done this really. It's kind of like a greatest hits episode that hasn't happened yet.
That's right.
The greatest
Gotta
hits
mix
that
it
are
up every
about to
now and
happen.
then. I like it.
But yeah, on that note, man, it's that time of the show when we got to get out of here.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Charlie Walter, for joining us.
That was very awesome.
It
Yes,
was a
thank
great
you. We'll talk
interview.
to you soon. Everybody else, thank you guys for tuning in each and every week. If you even give us 10 minutes of your time, we greatly appreciate it. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media. We will see you guys next week for episode 111. We love you guys.
Farewell.
Tooties.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too.